Caden Simpson starts the third heat from pole position with Aston Brown alongside Kyle McLean and Tyler O'Neill on the second row, Alex Jones and Daniel Minto on row number 3. 7th will be Jake Grufferty alongside Logan Lauder. The top 10 then completed by Riley Buckton-Young and JJ Lowe. James Tate will start 11th alongside Jack Baker. Then we're going to have Toby Dukes and Harry Neeson on row 7. Ella Lucia and Jack Hutchinson are going to complete our Micromax runners. That's the 20 of James Tate. He had the issues in the previous race with what at the time we thought was the throttle sticking open, and we've had no further update on that. So I'm going to assume that my technical knowledge is 100% bang on and that it was definitely that. But he was certainly understeering quite a lot in that race, suggesting that the power was still coming when he was lifting off the throttle, because he was going very, very wide, and we did pick up on that early on in the race, that kart was quite a handful for him to control. But whatever the issue was, they've managed to get that kart sorted and ready to go back out. We're just going to see whether we had any further updates from any of our afternoon races. Junior Pro Kart results are in. We've just got a couple of drop-down penalties, which hasn't caused too much of an issue. I think it's dropped Harrison Johns and Reese Knight a place or two, but nothing too untoward there on that one. And we'll wait for the rest of them to come in. Then we'll try and get a bit of an update on which Hondas have unfortunately got to go into the B final, into the runoff, and then we'll see which of those can progress into the top 10 and get into the main final, the A final, right at the end of the day in our Honda Cadet class. It does unfortunately mean that those drivers that don't make it through into the top 10, they'll go home early. Well, in fact, they might well stick around and watch their friends from their class in the final race of the day. So micros are about to go. We're just getting some support in from Emma Barrett, just saying good luck to Sodi Vitesse. So all their drivers competing in Micromax. So JJ Lowe, Tyler O'Neill, Alex Jones and Ella Lucia. She's just wishing good luck to all of them. Please do let us know where you're watching from. We do like to see how far we can get the Alpha live stream. So if you are watching from somewhere further afield, do give it a share and we'll see if we can spread the word on the Alpha Live channel. Nina Brooks just saying good luck to Amy, and then saying Amy Peacock, and then saying well done following her performance in that race. She was well towards the front of the Honda Cadet class. So thank you for getting in touch. I think we should be about to go racing now. I think obviously we do want to just make sure that Max Lewis is okay. So the medical team just assessing him, but then once they give us the go ahead, please we'll be back on circuit. So as we see our Micromax, so Micromax is a 2-stroke class, the smaller or the smallest of the Rotax variant engines. There they go as they buzz into life. So there's four classes all the way through. It could even be 5 now. There's more Rotax classes than you can shake a stick at, with micros, minis, juniors and seniors. And then seniors, in fact, then get split into 2 different weight categories with 162 and 177 as you move into the senior ranks, as you continue your karting career. So this will be a rolling start, as we've seen for all of our 2-stroke classes throughout the day. Leader and pole sitter will be Caden Simpson. He's on the right-hand side of your screen with Aston Brown in the black, blue and purple kart alongside him. And we've already got a driver stopped. That's Ella Lucia, stopped on the run down to Ashby's. And she's pointing frantically to the marshal to try and get some help. It looks like looks like the plug cap might have even popped off the top there, and it looks like she's moving again now. So means that hopefully we'll be able to get this race started, but she won't be there. You've seen in the background there with the bright pink helmet. So she might not be on the back, but as 95% of the grid is there, and if we can get us going, we will do. Looks like everybody's in a nice order, but they have to find their tram line as they come through. And it looks like there's potential braking formation halfway through, and I'm not sure we're going to go. It looks like we're going racing this time. Let's see if we get confirmation whether we'll get a flag further down there at the next post. But it looks like Caden Simpson is leading the way on the outside in the 77 with Aston Brown on the inside. It looks like it could be JJ Lowe going all the way around the outside. We'll get confirmation when we can see a number at the moment. He's down the inside as well. That's a 28. Daniel Minto it is, in fact. And he goes through down the inside, runs Simpson wide onto the rumble strip, and Daniel Minto through and into the lead. Tyler O'Neill's on the outside of Caden Simpson. Simpson's not going to give that one up easily. And, holds on to second place from Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill now has track position down the inside. Simpson still not giving it up into the boot section. Can he get it stopped? And that's going to allow, is it Logan Lauder, I think, coming through down the inside? Isn't this the 30 or the 48? That's JJ Lowe down the inside with some contact on Tyler O'Neill. The two Soddy Vitesse drivers getting hooked up side by side with each other. Aston Brown behind as well, right into the background, into the slipstream. And this time now there's more power down the inside. Caden Simpson can't turn in to defend round Christmas corner. Might even lose third place as well as JJ Lowe comes through into third place. Daniel Minto, though, disappearing down the road here in this Micromax third heat. We'll see in a few moments when the timing appears down the left side just how far he'd managed to get away on that opening lap. It was 1.6 seconds. I expect that to be nearer 3 this time when he comes through over the line. What with everybody battling it out in the background. Simpson once again having to hold on. And this time Aston Brown will get the cut back down the inside into the final complex of corners. Now 3.1 seconds already the gap for Daniel Minto as Kyle McLean and Alex Jones argue over some tarmac. Aston Brown goes defensive to the inside, despite the fact he's got 7 or 8 kart lengths to the nearest drivers. There's an intense battle behind there between Toby Dukes, Harry Neeson and James Tate as they're sliding round and over the curb, and that's going to invite Logan Lauder and Jake Grufferty into the mix as well behind them. And they're all chopping and changing, just defending as well as attacking. And that is the problem when you're in the middle of the pack, is that you are having to do 2 jobs at once. In terms of you're trying to overtake the guy in front or girl in front, and then you're also having to defend behind as well. As Caden Simpson runs slightly wide. James Tate runs wide there and opens the door for Logan Lauder, and Lauder comes through, and that should put him up into 10th place. There's the confirmation on the screen as McLean and Jones swap places on the previous lap. Caden Simpson is alongside with Carl McLean, and McLean is through on Simpson as well. We've got a lot of chopping and changing there in the background with Riley Buckton Young on the back of Jake Grufty. So this battle really all the way down from 6th place all the way down to 13th with Buckton Young at the far end of it, Carl McLean at the other end of the bookend here. With this battle of almost 8 karts battling out for 6th all the way down to 13th. Half race distance is coming up in terms of timing as Caden Simpson makes a dive to the inside there of the 12 of Kyle McLean, but McLean was a couple of kart lengths away, and Simpson I think he actually just carries a lot of speed naturally into that corner anyway, rather than it being a lunge to the inside there from Caden Simpson. But nonetheless, he's managed to make his way through for McLean, but hasn't managed to break away too much, although now he's starting to move away from this pack as all of them really begin to spread themselves out. And this third heat from Micros has really sort of like settled itself down a lot more than what the previous ones had, certainly before, because everyone's sort of moved into their natural positions. It happens sometimes with these mixed grid formats, those that when you find drivers that are all together at a similar pace, they generally find a way of migrating their way through the field at a similar rate, and then they just sort of go with each other and it does settle itself down. Then you'll have ones where there's drivers that are really split at the other end, as Logan Lauder picks up a contact warning. And when they are split, it means that everybody comes through at a different rate. And in this case, it's allowed Daniel Minto, who started in front of some of his rivals in terms of being on pace with, to move away at the head of the field in the early part of the race. We've got 2 minutes and 15 remaining. He's 3.5 seconds away, and that gap has been fairly consistent for the last 3 or 4 minutes or so as we watch Caden Simpson holding off Harry Neeson. That's for 6th place. And Simpson, a driver who's really come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of months, and I think most of that's down to confidence, really, in his own ability. The fact that he can actually do it has really picked up the pace as Caden Simpson, holding off Harry Neeson and Alex Jones at present, and holding them off quite comfortably, although this time now Neeson has got a good run out of the corner. He's going to try and dive to the inside at Christmas. Thought about it, popped back in, thought about it again and popped back in, and decides that he's not going to have a full go at it there. It's just going to be a half a go. It's Simpson then in 6th, all the way back now. The gap to James Tate between the two of them is only about a second, with 4 karts in it. There they are, all of them together. And this gap, there was much more of a battle earlier on, only 2 minutes or so ago. Dukes, Lauder, Gruffity and Buckton Young were in there as well. They've dropped some 4 seconds off the back of this pack, but they're still running round with only about 7 tenths between them as well. That's the battle that's about 4 seconds behind this one at the moment. Lap is about 55 seconds, so we're going to get 3 more laps because the leaders are about 10 seconds further down, so they're going to get round before the time elapses. So we will get another 2.5 laps or so of this Micro Max heat number 3. Stick with us though, because after this one we've got another Rotax. It's the juniors before we have a short break after that, but the juniors are coming up, and they've been entertaining all the way through. This one, in terms of for our micros, has been the leaders have all sort of moved away, and they've all spaced themselves out fairly evenly before we get to this battle for 6th place with Caden Simpson, Harry Neeson. And Neeson looks one way, and then when he looks back, he's going to find Logan Lauder, or Alex Jones, sorry, parked in the gap where he wants to turn in. And Jones though couldn't pop that kart just far enough as Harry Neeson gets a contact warning for what I can only imagine was a slightly overzealous defence into that corner. But now it looks like Jones has once again got a run as Neeson forces Jones ever so slightly wide. James Tate's going to try and take advantage of that, but can't get alongside through the final complex of corners. Up the top end of the circuit at Christmas, and then down to Inkermans before Ashby's as Tate has a slight wipe of his visor. Give himself a clearer view. We're going to last lap in a few moments' time as the leaders are likely to have come over the line. There's the last lap confirmations. That's Daniel Minto coming over, start finish. Looks like we've got the blue flags out. Harry Neeson's managed to get to the inside of Caden Simpson. Contact between the two of them round the final corner. Now we're 3 and 4 wide down the through. And through comes James Tate and Alex Jones as well. Caden Simpson hands off the steering wheel this time. And Harry Neeson's forced him wide in that corner. And all the others have managed to come through as they catch up with a little bit of lap traffic. That's Jack Hutchinson in front of them. And they've all managed to negotiate fairly cleanly. So Jones and Tate have managed to move up 2 places, the pair of them, on the previous lap. Neeson and Simpson's dropped down. Simpson's going to drop down then into at least 8th or 9th. Out of the final corner, though, it's been a commanding victory for Daniel Minto. Takes the checkered flag. The gap at the end closing ever so slightly, but he'd done too much in the early part of that race for Tyler O'Neill or JJ Lowe to get anywhere near him. They were evenly spread. Aston Brown's going to get 4th.